Shabbat shalom, everybody. You know what I forgot to do last week, and maybe even the week before that? I forgot to teach you new Hebrew words. I want to teach you some Hebrew today, because this is going to be important. What does that one look like to you? We'll see how old you are if you can tell me what it looks like. What does it look like to you? It looks like a menorah. Does anybody say Chanukiah? Okay, some people say Chanukiah. Anything else? What does it look like? What was it made of?
Lego.
Somebody says Legos. You can't see this menorah? It's not made of Legos. It's just a suggestion. Somebody said they thought it looked like Legos. It's supposed to be an 8-bit menorah. I like how the little kids think it's a Minecraft menorah, but we don't have too many little kids here, the younger generation. Some of you smiled when you know what Minecraft is, but most of you didn't even do that. Or 8-bit menorah. So if you were playing video games in the 70s, it would look like this, and everybody's shaking their head like, Rabbi, you are out of your ever-loving mind. But no, I just thought, I think it's pretty cool. I'll tell you why I have this. It runs on batteries, so I bought a few of these so that I can bring them to the people who are shut in, or if they're in the hospital or something, so that they could light candles, and because they're not allowed to light them. Some kids in college, you know, in the dorm rooms can't light candles. Then, can you see it over there? Yes. Watched it. It's so cool. There's an on-off button on the bottom, and then, so we were just talking about this in case you don't see it. So when you're supposed to have the menorah on display in the window, and whoever is seeing it primarily should see this one go on first, and this one go on second, and this one go on. So if you're lighting it facing you, you put, I'll show you. We're going to turn them all off first. Whoop, whoop. So you're going to put this candle in first, and on the first night, you're going to light just the one candle. On the second night, you're going to put, I lit the shamash. I could take it off too. We could do it that way. But on the second night, you're going to put the first candle in, the one on the far right, and then you're going to put the second candle in, the one next to it. But then when you light them, you're going to light your shamash, your shamas, and you're going to use that to light this one and then this one. So you put them in oldest to newest, and you light them newest to oldest. And if you're putting it in the window, then it's going to look backwards to you, but it's going to look forwards to them. And if you do it wrong, you do not get into trouble. This is Rabbi Jana's turf, and you do not get into trouble for trying and doing something and lighting candles. That's the way this works. So it is, when you see this one, what do you see? Elena, what do you see? What kind of menorah do you see? Elena, what kind of menorah do you see? Alexander, what kind of menorah do you see here? What kind of Chanukiah is it? Who said it? Ah, yes. Thank you. I said people were going to say Minecraft, and nobody said Minecraft. It's a game that you play, and you get to design your own worlds. I'm going to light them all because it's going to be important for tonight, but it is not yet Hanukkah, so we don't have to even light them. But your Hebrew word for the day is menorah. That is not the only menorah we have here. Do you see any other menorot in this room? Ding. Oh, see, that row is pointing up. Every time you have a light fixture, something that gives off light, it's a menorah. Anything that gives off light. So this one is a specific kind of a menorah. It's what we call a Chanukiah, because it's a special menorah for Chanukah. The official menorah is a 7-branch menorah, like we see out on the stained glass over there. But the one for Chanukah is an 8-branch menorah plus a shamash. 8 plus 1, not 9, but 8 plus 1. So I want to show you how you read these letters. So this is what I like to call, it looks like a mountain or a mound, but the bottom is missing, and it has a missile on it. I call it the missile mountain mem. It sounds like m, and you remember your vowels. That's a so that's a m. And this is what I like to call a narrow-nosed nun. See, it looks like my nose, just like my nose. It's a narrow-nosed nun, and it sounds like n. You know the nun because it's on your dreidel. I didn't have to teach you the dreidel letters. The nun is one of the letters. And it has this vowel here where Ms. Vav is up at bat and the pitcher pitches it over her head and she says, oh. So that says m, no. And this is the rounded resh. We saw that in Baracha and Bereshit. And that's an ah. So it says me, no, ra. And this has a hole here. And this is just hanging. It's a hey. That's another one of your dreidel letters. You have 2 dreidel letters from a dreidel in the word menorah. This is menorah. That's a lot of letters for one day. And this is your sample of what a menorah could look like. And so anyway, menorah. That's your word for the day, brought to you by the letters mem and nun and resh and hey. It's a good word. Hi, everybody. This was a kind of crazy week for us. We have been building towards this for a very long time, and we finally went live with the software. So if you have access to a computer, then hopefully you saw we have totally revamped the website, because the website now is at Shul Cloud, where we get to integrate it with all the cool things that it can do. You can make donations, you can play with the yurt sites that are from your family, you can show how you're connected. This would be really cool if we could really get this thing going. There's a tab on there that says relationships, and you can say how everybody in this room is related. You say it's my 3rd cousin once removed or something, and we could have like this one big happy, we would know what's going on and who's related to whom. You have power over that. You can say, oh, there's a member directory. How do I find so-and-so's phone number? You just click on it, and if you are a member and you're logged in, you can see everybody's information. But what if you don't want anybody to have your phone number because you're going to be like that? You can take that off of what they see, even though it stays in your account. We've got lots of control. There are lots of things we can't do yet, and I will be honest, in typical fashion, I am my mother's daughter. I have already pointed out at least 3 major typos on their website. And they've thanked me for that. It's a cool website because they let us request things. So if there's a feature that you want to see, you post it on there, and then people vote for it. And depending on how many votes you get, it'll determine how soon they work on your thing. So anyway, we've been working on it very hard. And therefore, the reason I'm saying that is I would love for you to play with it a little bit and clean up your accounts and things, but more importantly, I need, and I hope you will join me, in taking a really big few breaths. Again. Because I did something that your rabbi should never do, and I stayed up until 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock almost every night this week, and people have texted me at 8:30 almost every single morning. I would like people to not text me before 9 in the morning if it's not an emergency. Do you know what everybody did this week at 8:30 in the morning? Every day I got another person sending me that new Bohemian Rhapsody Hanukkah song. Every day at 8:30 a different person sent it to me. And you know what I did after that? It's a good song. I send them the Bohemian Rhapsody Passover one because I liked it more. It was puppets and I thought it was funny. But every single day at 8:30, someone else has sent me that thing. So watch it, find the Passover one, find the Hanukkah one, good stuff. But don't send it to me at 8:30 in the morning, please. Anyway, we now are better. We take a deep breath and we start our service, page 82, service 3, and I call up Bubby and Dr. Sam to help us light the candles, or bless the candles, and the pseudo wine. We need a new word for that. The symbol of joy. And our tradition is that we rise for this because we pretend we're at home. And at home we should be standing for this. That's all I can stand.
Eternal God, who may abide in
Page 82.
Oh, wrong one, sorry.
Okay.
These lights are only flickering flames, yet flames illumine our uncertain steps. Flames remind us of Sabbaths long past and of their beauty that delighted our hearts. May they inspire us to work for the great Sabbath of peace. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech olam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu v'havlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen.
We praise you, eternal God, sovereign of the universe. You hallow us with your mitzvot, and command us to kindle the Sabbath lights.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Shabbat candles. So next week, when it's Shabbat and Hanukkah, do we light the Shabbat candles first or the Hanukkah candles first? Shabbat's more important, so you light the Hanukkah candles first. We get ready, we turn to pages 167 and 166 for the sanctification of the day.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Borei peri hagata.
Amen.
We praise you, eternal God, sovereign of the universe, creator of the fruit of the vine.
Amen.
We praise you, eternal God, sovereign of the universe. You call us to holiness with the mitzvah of Shabbat, the sign of your love, a reminder of your creative work, and of our liberation from Egyptian bondage, our day of days. On Shabbat especially, we hearken to your call to serve you as a holy people. We praise you, O God, for the holiness of Shabbat.
Amen. L'chaim.
You go first.
All yours.
No, thanks.
I love it when people have to fight over who doesn't drink it. No, you take it. No, you take it.
No, it's great.
It is a sign of joy. Now, see?
Cheers.
Terrible group.
L'chaim, everybody. Please say Shabbat Shalom to someone you came in with, someone you didn't come in with. Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom back there. We are going to go directly to welcoming the angels that accompany us on Shabbat on page 84 as we sing Shalom Aleichem.
Sorry.
Not that one.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi-Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Olachem l'Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi-Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Baruchuni l'Shalom,
Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi-Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Tzidchem
Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi-Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
So many notes. I'm glad I'm doing the guitar parts and not the blah, blah, blah. I don't know how you have enough eyes for all of that. That was awesome.
Got 4.
The synagogue is the sanctuary of Israel. Born of our longing for the living God, it has been to Israel, throughout our wanderings, a visible token of the presence of God in our people's midst. Its beauty is the beauty of holiness. Steadfast it has stood as the champion of justice, mercy, and peace.
Its truths are true for all people. Its love is a love for all people. Its God is the God of all people. As it has been said, my house shall be called a house of prayer for all peoples.
Let all the family of Israel, all who hunger for righteousness, all who seek the eternal, find God here, and here find life. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shmei Rabbah.
Amen.
Be'alama divra chiruteh, v'yamlich malchuteh, b'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chaye d'chol Beit Yisrael. Ba'agala, ba'agala, u'vizman kariv, v'meru, amen. Yehi shmera b'mevarach, la'alam ul'alme almaya, yitbarach, yitbarach v'yishtabach, v'yitpahar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitale v'yithalal, shemeh dekudisha, b'richu, le'ela min kol berchata v'shirata, tushvechata v'nechemata, damiran be'alma, v'meru, amen. Baruchu et Adonai hamevorach. Oh God, how can we know you? Where can we find you? You are as close to us as breathing, yet you are farther than the farthermost star. You are as mysterious as the vast solitudes of night, yet as familiar to us as the light of the sun. To Moses you said, "You cannot see my face, but I will make all my goodness pass before you." Even so does your goodness pass before us, in the realm of nature and in the joys and sorrows of life.
When justice burns within us like a flaming fire, when love evokes willing sacrifice from us, when to the last full measure of selfless devotion, we demonstrate our belief in the ultimate triumph of truth and righteousness, then your goodness enters our lives and we can begin to change the world. And then you live within our hearts,
and we through righteousness behold your presence. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Do I have anybody out there who wants to help me with the V'ahavta? Anybody? I do.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושננתם לבניך ושבריבך בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשתם להיות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם. Would you lead us in the English too, please? You shall love your eternal God with all your heart, with all your mind, with all your being. Set these words which I command you this day upon your heart. Teach them faithfully to your children. Speak of them in your home and on your way, when you lie down and when you rise up. Bind them as a sign upon your hand. Let them be symbols before your eyes. Inscribe them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. Be mindful of all my mitzvot and do them. So shall you consecrate yourselves to your God. I am your eternal God, who led you out of Egypt to be your God. I am your eternal God. Nice job, nice job. I, the Eternal One, have called you to righteousness and taken you by the hand and kept you.
I have made you a covenant people, a light to the nations.
We are Israel, witness to the covenant between God and God's children.
This is the covenant I make with Israel. I will place my Torah in your midst and write it upon your hearts. I will be your God, and you shall be my people.
We are Israel. Our Torah forbids the worship of race or nation, possessions or power.
You who worship gods that cannot save you, hear the words of the Eternal One. I am God, there is none else.
We are Israel. Our prophets proclaimed an exalted vision for the world.
Hate evil and love what is good. Let justice well up as waters and righteousness as a mighty stream.
We are Israel, schooled in the suffering of the oppressed.
You shall not oppress your neighbors nor rob them. You shall not stand idle while your neighbor bleeds.
We are Israel, taught to beat swords into plowshares, commanded to pursue peace.
Violence shall no longer be heard in your land, desolation and destruction within your borders. All your children will be taught of your God, and great shall be the peace of your children.
We are Israel, O God, when we are witnesses to your love and messengers of your truth.
You are my witnesses, says the Eternal One, and my servant whom I have chosen. Know me, therefore, and put your trust in me.
We are Israel, O God, when we
And
proclaim you God,
our
Redeemer,
Redeemer, as did our ancestors on the shores of the Red Sea.
Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 ya la 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 la. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha leda b'kodesh, nora tehilot osef eleh, nora tehilot osef eleh. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 ya la 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 la, ya la 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 ya la 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 la, ya la 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 ya la 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 la.
V'ne'emar, and it has been said, the Eternal One delivered Jacob and redeemed us from the hand of one stronger than ourselves. Baruch atah Adonai, Ga'al Yisrael. We praise you, O God, Redeemer of Israel. May we lie down this night in peace and rise up to life renewed. O God, spread over us your shelter of peace, of quiet and calm, and bless us with rest. And let a time come when morning shall bring no word of war or famine or anguish, a time of happiness, of contentment and rest. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom, aleinu v'al kol amo Yisrael, v'al Yerushalayim. We give thanks for the night and its rest, and the promise of peace for all the world. V'shameru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. Please rise for the tefillah, which begins on page 93. Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi yagid tehilatecha. Eternal God, open my lips that my mouth may declare your glory. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Leah, ve'Elohei Rachel, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Hasadim Tovim, V'Koneh Hakol, V'Zocher Chasdei Avot v'Imahot, U'Mevii Geula Livnei V'neihem, L'ma'an Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen, Baruch Atah Adonai, Magen Avraham Ve'ezrat Sarah. God of all generations, of Abraham and Isaac and Jacob, of Sarah, Rebekah, Leah, and Rachel, be praised. Your wondrous creative power fills heaven and earth.
God of life and death, be praised. Through us, send help to the falling, healing to the sick, freedom to the captive. Confirm your faithfulness to those who sleep in the dust.
Awesome and holy God, be praised. With acts of love and truth, we hallow your name. As it is said, be holy, for I, your eternal God, am holy.
God of times and seasons, be praised. Enable us through Sabbath rest to explore and learn and impart the meanings of your Torah. Make our hearts ready to serve you this day and all days.
God who answers prayer, be praised. May we, your people Israel, be worthy in our deeds and our prayer, wherever we live, wherever we seek you, in this land, in Zion restored, in all lands. You are our God. Source of life and its wonders, be praised. You are the miracle within all we behold. You are goodness, you are compassion. We give thanks to you forever. And we read below you could start playing if you want, but we read below. God of peace, we read together. God of peace, of justice, and of love, be praised. Inspire us to banish forever hatred, war, and bloodshed. Help us to establish forever one human family. God of peace, bless us with peace.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasi Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasi Tahu melech adon lechol hashalom v'tov benecha levarech et amcha Yisrael v'chol et uvchosha b'shlomech.
To bring us peace, we now take a moment to say what's in our heart, and I hope it's a peaceful prayer for you.
Yaseh Shalom Bimromav. Hu Yaseh Shalom Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael V'imru Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yoseh Shalom Bimromav. Hu Yaseh Shalom Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael V'imru Our hearts and our prayers turn to those who are ill or recuperating as we turn to the inside back cover of our prayer book, and I am going to turn off my mic for a moment to list the people we have on our If you have other names that you'd like to add to our prayers, I invite you to call them out. I think that we could say some prayers for a few of us in here too tonight. I'm seeing we've got like one whole corner here is sniffling and coughing, and the other corner is not yet. So hope everybody stays healthy and everybody gets healthy fast. But we say together, oh God, in our hearts we name those who are facing illness and pain. We join our prayers with the prayers of all who love them.
Give them renewed comfort and courage.
Strengthen in them the healing powers you have placed within us all. Guide the hands and hearts of those who are entrusted with their care. May the knowledge of your love and ours give added hope to them and to their dear ones. May they find even greater strength because our prayers are linked to theirs. Baruch atah Adonai, Rofei HaCholim. We praise you, eternal God, the source of healing and health. I want to add in our prayer today the people who are still recuperating from the hurricane and the fires and mudslides. And this, Alaska, the two earthquakes already. Last report I heard of no deaths, but it looks like there's an awful lot to have to rebuild from, and people were injured. Sorry? Well, yeah, but apparently that was canceled. Yeah, that was canceled. So we sing. Mi shebeirach Avotenu Mekor habracha Lehimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us,
Help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Mi sheberach imotenu mikor habracha lehavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen. And we add, Mishaberach avotenu v'imotenu, may the one who blessed and protected our ancestors guard all those whom we have entrusted with the responsibility of defending our freedom and protecting us in this country, in the land of Israel, and everywhere they have been called to serve. Give them courage to succeed and strength to persevere. May they return home safely, and let us say. So part of the reason why I brought that is because we did just start with new software at B'nai Zion. And it got me thinking. I connected it a little bit to the Torah portion, and I have an apology to some people about Torah portion. I think I did the wrong Torah portion in Torah study last week, so I don't know what I'm going to do tomorrow. The Torah portion I did last week is the one we were supposed to do this week. And it has to do with Jacob being ready to go back towards home to visit with his brother, and wrestling with the thing, the angel, the man, the thing. We'll talk about that. But the point is, there's something awesome about reading these stories in Genesis, and that is that things happen. We know kind of the end of the story, so it makes sense to us. But I'm always struck by the fact that I don't think that they know that they're making history by making those choices. That when Jacob agrees reluctantly to come to Egypt because he finds out that Joseph, the guy he thought his son, his beloved son, is still alive, and then the fact that they're in Egypt means that they eventually become slaves for hundreds of years. I don't think that anybody thought that when they were making the decisions they were making, that that's what was going to happen. And it struck me that it's a little bit like what's happening with us in the world of technology. People lament the fact that we have a generation of children who, and I know you've seen this. How many times have you seen a table where everybody's sitting together and everybody's looking at their phones instead of talking to each other? And they lament that. And they lament the fact that we're not filling these seats. We lament the fact that when I was in NIFTY, in the national, what was called then the National Federation of Temple Youth, there were over 24,000 kids in NIFTY, teenagers. And USY, the conservative movement, had over 20,000 teens. And now we have something like 24,000. And how's that possible? We don't have fewer students. And so the reality, I think, and I would love to hear if you disagree, I know I'm not always trying to be controversial, but I have a feeling this is going to be controversial. I think the reality is we live in a technical world. And barring anything catastrophic where we're never going to have access to internet again, I think that we're going to continue to live in a world that's an internet world. And I think that it is sad because the way of life that we knew is going to fizzle. It's going to disappear. And we loved what we knew. We really enjoyed that. But I think that what it's leading to is a new kind of world. I think that my children and the people who are younger than my children, they are exposed to so much more awesome things about Judaism because they have a smartphone and they can look at it all the time. They're learning by experiencing. I mean, I always thought that I felt rich by watching a TV show, National Geographic kind of thing, Mutual of Omaha, and see how the animals lived. And I felt like I learned about that kind of rich life because I experienced it by watching it on TV. But they have that every second of the day. I had to, whatever they felt like exposing me to that day, that's what I got if I was lucky enough to watch TV and had finished my homework and whatever else. But they get to do this all the time. And so what they get is everybody gets to see the Bohemian Rhapsody Hanukkah thing, which is really clever, and they feel really proud when they have that. And my children and the children I teach, the young adults I teach, they feel more connected to the world and to the people around them because of this technology. And I hope that we figure it out. I hope that we figure out how to make them feel the warmth that we got by connecting when they look so disconnected. But the truth is they're always communicating with each other in ways that we couldn't, and we could only imagine. There was an article this week about the sisterhood movement and how different that is now than it was when we were growing up. Because the women don't necessarily have the luxury of having a lunch together any afternoon that they want. Many women are working, or they're retired, or they're driving or not driving, or whatever it is. They've got other obligations. We don't have the same kind of thing, but we still get to stay connected, and we still get to stay informed in ways that earlier generations didn't. And I think that to some extent, it is ways of connecting. Jacob comes to Joseph and gets reconnected with his family. Unfortunately, down the line, it winds up being that we're slaves for 400 years. I'm praying that's not what happens next, but I don't know. And I would like us to see what we can do to influence this for positive. And so I wave to all the people who are watching us, because often there are more people watching our service there than are in the room at the time. And I don't know if you realize that. And some of these other ways that we're connecting, I think, are miraculous. It's not what I am used to, and it's not exactly, to be honest, what I would prefer. But I really want us to try to figure out how to take this and use it to make a richer Jewish life and not feel bereft of Judaism. Mr. President, you get to talk about some of the things that are happening on Hanukkah or not. Here, come on up. Let's do this. Boink, boink. That. And you get, here's the thing that they can pick this up, and it's blue for them out there.
Is that what's outside in the front?
Yes, the blue ones.
There's a outside in front. You can pick up the schedule.
Are you getting that?
Shabbat Shalom. Thank you to Sheila and Sam.
You could do this, actually. Do you know? You're not a bar mitzvah kid, so you could get this closer. You're tall enough. Yeah, okay. I'll stand back.
Thank you.
Spoken from his wife.
Hanukkah will begin this Sunday, December 2nd, continues through December 10th. During Hanukkah, please consider bringing donations of backpacks or winter coats or tzedakah to B'nai Zion. B'nai Zion will make donations for the local community who are hungry or homeless. The North Louisiana Jewish Federation Hanukkah party is this Sunday, December 2nd, 11:30 a.m. There will be fun activities and food for everyone of all ages.
Including latkes.
Yes. Please come. Remember to shop at the B'nai Zion Sisterhood Gift Shop this Sunday during religious school, starting 9:30 through the end of Hanukkah, and the party and all office hours. Next Sunday, December 9th, all Hanukkah items in the gift shop will be 50% off. Festival de Noël presents Hands of Hope for Hope Connections on this Sunday, December 2nd, 6:30 to 8 p.m. at Broadmoor United Methodist Church, 3715 Uri Drive. Rabbi Jana will light a Hanukkah and speak. Adam Philley's chorus will sing. Sarah Dunham and others will have solos. There will be other speakers. Consider bringing a donation of hand warmers or tzedakah for Hope Connections. Again, Adam, we really enjoy the music. I know everybody does, so thank you. Hanukkah and Simcha Shabbat and potluck dinner will be next Friday. Every household should bring a Hanukkah to light before service to celebrate Hanukkah, and we will also honor everyone whose birthdays or anniversaries are in December. Suggestion is to bring food that feeds more than your household so that we can all have dinner together. There will be latkes and jelly donuts.
Sufganiyot, nice.
Thank you. And drinks will be provided. Jewish Federation will be hosting parties all week, and that you can pick up your schedule. Please join us at any or all of them. Red River Radio has many wonderful Hanukkah programs as well throughout the holiday. For details about all of these, please go online, the new B'nai Zion and improved website. Donations were made to B'nai Zion for pulpit flowers in loving memory of Jake Ivinsky by Mr. and Mrs. Larry Ivinsky and family, in loving memory of Nina Plant by Kathy Plant, in loving memory of Paul Shapiro by Jacqueline Fleshman, in loving memory of Etha and Paul Silverblatt by Sam Silverblatt, and in loving memory of Ann Simon by Bobby Goodman. Thank you.
Thank you. So a couple tiny clarifications about it. Food that you bring, you may want to call the office and see, or let the office know what you're bringing, and then we make sure we don't have like lots of duplicates. You know what the guidelines are here. We're what do they call it? No high trafe, and no milk and meat in the same dish when it starts out, and there will be food this Sunday. You don't have to bring food for Sunday. And Tuesdays Together Tuesday is going to be at Twisted Root Burger this week, and we will be lighting a Hanukkah menorah. So if you want to come to Together Tuesday this week, don't go downtown. Come to Grant's place, the Twisted Root. That's important. And that's all in there, and it was in the email you got, and it's in all of the things, and we're excited about all that. Thank you. I now call everybody who is not asleep, who's under the age of whatever, wants to come up and help me with opening the ark. I guess that whole row who's not asleep, come on up. Page 148. My job is to make you rest on Shabbat. I'm always proud when I put everybody to sleep. You know that. You can tell me it's because of the NyQuil, but I don't believe you. It's my Shabbat ways. We turn to page 148. Whoop. One more, come on. Look how beautiful our Torahs are. Ready? Aleinu l'shabeach l'Adon hakol, latet gedula liyotzer breshit, shelo asanu kegoyei ha'aratzot, velo samanu kemishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkeinu ka'em, vegoralenu kechol hamona, va'anachnu korim u'mishtachavim u'modim lifnei melech malchei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu. And when the ark is closed, you may be seated. Teamwork. Nice job. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We continue on page 150. The day will come when all shall turn with trust to you, O God, hearkening to your voice, bearing witness to your truth. Please join me. We pray with all our hearts, let violence be gone. Let the day come soon when evil shall give way to goodness, when war shall be forgotten, and all at last shall live in freedom. O source of life, may we, created in your image, embrace one another in friendship and in joy. Then shall we be one family, and then shall your sovereignty be established on earth, and the word of your prophet fulfilled. The eternal God will reign forever and ever. On that day, O God, you shall be one, and your name shall be one. Bayom hahu,
Bayom hahu,
Yeh Adonai echad, Ushemo, Ushemo, Ushemo never done it that way before together, and I didn't know he had it queued up. We used to often do it a cappella because it wasn't usually queued up. Thank you for that. So I have some horrible news today before we begin. We had these losses in our military this week. We lost Sergeant Leandro Jasso, who served in the Army. He was 25 from Washington. He died in Afghanistan. It says that sometimes kids would call him, his nickname was Lando Calrissian, not just because he loved the Star Wars movie, but because his name was Leandro, and some of his friends couldn't say his first name, so they called him Lando Calrissian, but he was 24. We lost Captain Andrew Patrick Ross, who was 29 from Virginia, and he died 3 days later in Afghanistan. And we lost Sergeant First Class Eric Michael Edmond, who was 39 from Washington, and he died November 27th. And we lost Staff Sergeant Dylan J. Elchin, who was serving in the Air Force, and he was 25 from Pennsylvania, and he died in Afghanistan. May we remember them always as a blessing, and may their families be consoled, and may we always appreciate that there are people who run into dangerous situations to protect us. And we continue on page 151. We include in our hearts everyone who has lost their lives by being first responders at times when everybody else should have been running, and they run in. Our thoughts turn to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. As we remember them, let us meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and death. And I invite you to take a moment of silence to read one of these meditations or whatever is in your heart. However brief may be our time on earth, O God, you endow our fleeting days with abiding worth. We now recall the loved ones whom death has recently taken from us. Included in our shloshim are Peter Haas and Jean Shafton and Irvin Levine and Helen Weissman. And included in we have congregants, parents who died this past year. We remember Joe Batt Sr. and Sarah David, Flo Selber, Gloria Meyer, Richard Stewart, and Clifford Bear. And as we remember those who died at this season in years past, we take them into our hearts with our own. Those for whom we're observing Yortzeit this week include Theodore Offertig, Gladys Dreyfus, Jay Kavinsky, Harry Goldman, Max Kaliski, Julia P. Kelly, Marcia Turk Crandall, Norman Cranston, Alex Cooperman, Morris Lipson, Miriam Muslow, Rosemary Pabst, Nina Plant, Alex Rubin, Paul Shapiro, Paul Silverblatt, Hermina Ox Silverman, Ann B. Simon, Lottie Sugar, Louis Weil, Sam Wolf. And I don't think we had Etha Silverblatt. I'm sorry, she's in here too. I'm sorry. In this moment of memory, our griefs and sympathies are mingled. Loving God, we rise as together we praise your name. The Mourner's Kaddish is found on page 154. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah be'alma divra chiruteh v'yamlich malchuteh b'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayeh d'chol Beit Yisrael ba'agala u'vizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shemei Rabbah mevarach la'alam u'lalmei almei almaya v'yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shemei dekudsha barichu Le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehe shalama rabba min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and comfort to all who are bereaved. Amen. Please be seated, unless you want to come up and help me bless the challah. Now, if you're under the age of whatever, I don't know, 25, and you're hungry and you're coming up for this, that's one thing. Oh man, the numbers dwindled. But remember, there's more for you back there. Oop, this is not working. Grab this. What's under here? Oh, it's beautiful. Look at how beautiful it is. Come hold this. You hold one side and you hold one side. And get ready and do. Hamotzi lechem min haaretz. We give thanks to God for bread. Our voices rise in song together as our joyful prayer is said. Everybody. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz, b'tei avon. You get the bread, I get the plate. Go. Nice job. We love this challah. We are so blessed. We have Bethany to make our challah for us. We have wonderful kids who share their challah with everybody. Please rise for the closing benediction. Whether you use technology or you use the books of the people of the book or you use each other as the source of knowledge and comfort, just know that I think that there is hope and strength and we are together. Even if it's texting each other, I'm just saying, know that we are together. Okay, not on Shabbat, no texting on Shabbat. Other than that, Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God bless you. May God protect you. Yair Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka. May the light of God's face shine upon you. Be gracious to you. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May God's face be looking up to you. May God grant you peace. Shabbat shalom. Ya ba bim bam ya ba ba bim bam ya ba bim bam ya ba ba ya ba ba ya ba bim bam ya ba ba bim bam ya ba ba ya ba bam. We actually have a really